Your multifamily property is supposed to be an asset, right? A cash flow machine that builds your wealth while you're busy living your life. But for way too many multifamily owners, it turns into a liability. Basically a collection of money pits that causes nothing but headaches and financial bleeding. The hard truth is you're probably making at least one of these 5 critical errors right now, and it's quietly torpedoing the profits of your entire building. But here's the good news. These costly mistakes are not just common, they're completely avoidable. I'm going to break down the 5 costliest mistakes I see multifamily operators make every single day and give you the simple, actionable fixes that can rescue your profits before it's too late. These are the lessons that can mean the difference between profitable portfolios and a financial nightmare. So let's get into the first mistake that's guaranteed to cost you. Mistake number 1 is inadequate tenant screening. The first and most disastrous mistake is failing to screen tenants properly. I get it. You have a vacancy in one of your units and you're losing money every day it sits empty. And you get an applicant who seems great and is waving a deposit check or money order in your face. The temptation to just get anyone in there is huge. So you cut a few corners and you take them at their word. Let me be crystal clear. This is how your investment journey ends in a train wreck. Rushing this process is like playing Russian roulette with your financial future. It's how you end up with a professional tenant, somebody who knows the eviction laws better than you do. They pay the first month, they move in, and then the excuses start. A bad tenant in a multifamily building doesn't just disrupt your cash flow. They can disrupt the peace of the entire community, potentially causing the good tenants to leave. Suddenly, you're facing an eviction process that can drag on for months and cost thousands in legal fees. All the while, your mortgage, taxes, and insurance payments don't stop. One single bad tenant in one unit can erase the profits for several other units for an entire year. The fix is to treat tenant screening like the most important part of your business because, well, it is. You need to standardize non-negotiable screening processes for every single applicant across your entire portfolio. This isn't just a quick credit check. A complete screening includes a comprehensive credit report, a nationwide criminal background check, and most importantly, a national eviction history report. Don't just rely on the credit score. Look at the whole story. But the real gold is in their rental history. Call the previous landlords. And here's a pro tip. Don't just call their current landlord. The current landlord might be desperate to get rid of them. You need to call the landlord before the current one. They have no reason to lie. Ask them, did they pay on time? Did they leave the property in good shape when they left? Were there any complaints? Having strict written criteria and applying it consistently to every applicant not only gets you a better tenant, but it also ensures you are compliant with all fair housing laws. Most landlords lose money because they're running properties, not businesses. I learned the hard way. I went broke before I figured this all out. Now I have 52 units worth over $6 million, no partners, and never did a syndication. I laid out the exact 12 steps that changed everything for me. Click the link below in the description and grab my free mini course now. Okay, let's jump into mistake number 2, which is drastically underestimating your expenses. The second mistake that crushes new and old multifamily owners alike is thinking that profit is just the total rent minus the mortgage. They run their principal, interest, taxes, and insurance on the building and assume whatever is left over is cash in their pocket. This is a complete fantasy, and it's why so many operators who look profitable on paper are constantly scrambling for cash. You're being ambushed by the silent profit killers. These are the expenses you don't see every month, but they're absolutely guaranteed to happen. I'm talking about vacancy, which is inevitable across multiple units. I'm talking about repairs, the dishwasher that dies in Unit 4, or a leak in a common area hallway. And I'm talking about the big one, capital expenditures. That's the new roof that costs $30,000, or the boiler system that serves the entire building dying for $25,000. Or the water heater that floods a downstairs unit. When you're only budgeting for the mortgage, a single one of these events can wipe out not just your cash flow, but your entire year's profit for the whole property. You're not running a business, you're just waiting for the next expensive emergency to shove you into the red. A great rule of thumb for this is the 50% rule. This is a conservative guideline that says you should estimate that 50% of your gross rental income will be eaten up by the expenses, other than your mortgage, your principal, and interest. So if your building generates $20,000 a month in gross rents, you should immediately budget $10,000 for everything else. That includes taxes, insurance, vacancies, repairs, property management, and save for those big ticket capital expenditures. The other $10,000 is what's left over to cover the mortgage and whatever else remains. After that is your true cash flow. To put this into practice, open a separate high yield savings account for each building. Every single month before you do anything else, transfer a percentage of the rent roll, say 10 or 15%, into this account. This is your repair and CapEx fund. This money is not your profit. It belongs to the property. When that boiler dies, and it will, you won't panic. You'll just pay for it with the business savings and keep the cash flowing. Mistake number 3 is acting like a friend and not a business owner. The third mistake is a mindset problem, and I call it the curse of the cool landlord, and it can have a disastrous financial consequence. In a multifamily building, you're not just managing individual tenants, you're managing an entire community. This makes the temptation to be liked even stronger. The rent for Unit 2C is a week late, but they have a sad story, so you waive the late fee. Your lease has a strict no pet policy, but a tenant brings home a puppy, and you don't have the heart to enforce the rule. You don't do regular inspections because you don't want to be a nuisance to anyone in the building. This niceness will be exploited, and it's going to cost you a fortune. When you let the tenant break a rule, you set a precedent for the entire building. The one-time late payment becomes a habit. That unapproved puppy in 3B makes the tenant in 3A wonder why they can't get one too. That small leak in an upstairs unit you would have caught during an inspection festers for months, causing a massive mold issue that damages the entire unit below. Your lease, the legal document meant to protect your asset, becomes worthless because your actions have shown tenants that its terms are just suggestions. By trying to be nice, you've signaled that you're a pushover and not a professional operator. The solution is to be firm, fair, and above all, consistent from day one across the entire property. Your relationship with your tenant is a business transaction. This starts with an ironclad, state-specific lease that's reviewed by an attorney. Then you enforce every single term for every unit, every single time. Rent is due on the 1st. If it's not paid by the date specified, the late fee applies automatically. No exception, no negotiation. You must also conduct regular property inspections, maybe every 6 months. Frame it as preventative maintenance for the entire building. The professionalism isn't about being mean, it's about respecting your investment and the contract you all signed. Clear boundaries and consistent enforcement are what prevents small issues from becoming catastrophic, money-draining problems for the entire property. Okay, let's hit pause for a second. If you're already seeing a mistake you've made, don't sweat it. That's why you're here. We've all been there. If you're getting value from this and want to help other multifamily owners avoid these same traps, do me a favor and hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. All right, let's get to mistake number 4. Mistake number 4 is setting the wrong rent. This mistake cuts both ways and it guarantees you lose money across your entire portfolio. On one side, you have the owners who set rents per unit based on what they need to cover the total building's mortgage. On the other hand, you have the owners with long-term tenants who haven't raised rents in years because they're afraid good tenants will leave. And here's a pro tip. When you find those properties, they're gold mines. Both strategies are incredibly destructive. If you set rent based on only your expenses, you could be leaving hundreds of dollars on the table for every single unit if the market rate is much higher. If you have 20 units all priced $150 below the market, you're losing $36,000 in pure profit every year. Conservatively, if you're significantly undercharging a building full of long-term tenants, you're actively subsidizing their lives. Think about it. Your insurance, taxes, and maintenance costs go up every year, but your income stays flat. You're eroding your own net operating income. The solution is to become an obsessive expert on your local rental market. You need to know without a doubt what a unit like yours rents for right now. Use online rental sites like Zillow or apartments.com to run rent comparables for similar buildings in your submarket. Your goal is to price each unit at the market rate. When you have a vacancy, pricing it just slightly below the market can create a flood of high-quality applicants, allowing you to pick the best ones quickly and maximize vacancy loss. For your existing tenants, you must implement small, consistent, and legal rent increases annually. A modest 3% to 5% increase is much easier for a tenant to swallow than a shocking 20% jump after 5 years. Always check your local and state laws first, as some areas have rent control. This keeps your entire building's rent roll aligned with the market realities and ensures your cash flow grows rather than shrinks. Mistake number 5 is neglecting tax strategy. The final mistake is one of the costliest yet most ignored: treating your multifamily investment like a hobby instead of a business at tax time. You might collect some receipts in a shoebox, hand them over to a generic tax preparer who doesn't specialize in real estate, and just accept whatever you're told you owe. Doing this is like voluntarily lighting a massive pile of your own cash on fire. For a multifamily investor, the tax code is arguably the single most powerful wealth building tool, and you're ignoring it. The biggest deduction you're likely missing is depreciation. The IRS allows you to deduct a portion of your property's value, the building, not the land, over 27.5 years. For a multifamily asset, this is a massive phantom expense you don't actually spend any cash on, but it significantly reduces your taxable income from the entire property. Proper depreciation can often lower your taxable income on the building to zero or even create a paper loss that you can carry forward. However, there are limits on how much of that paper loss you can use to offset your income from your day job. This is exactly why the solution is to professionalize your finances immediately. Step 1 is to hire a CPA who specializes in real estate investing. This person isn't an expense. They are a profit center who will save you far more than their fee. Step 2 is run your building like a proper business. Open up a separate business checking account for all income and expenses. Use account software to meticulously track every penny. A good real estate CPA will use this to legally maximize every single deduction that you're entitled to. They'll correctly set up your depreciation schedule for the building, and they'll guide you on nuances of a repair in one unit versus a capital improvement for the entire property. This is what separates amateur owners from savvy investors whose portfolios work for them. Most landlords never figure this part out, and that's why they stay stuck. I made every mistake you can imagine until I finally built a system that turned my properties into real businesses. Now I own over 50 units, more than $6 million in multifamily assets, and I did it without partners or syndications or fancy management companies. I put everything that I learned into a free 12-step multifamily mini course that shows you how to find, fund, and operate properties the right way so your rentals stop bleeding money and start building you wealth. Hit the link below in the description to grab it for free. It's the stuff I wish someone gave me before I learned the hard way. So, there you have it. The 5 mistakes that are guaranteed to cost you money as a multifamily owner are terrible tenant screening, underestimating your real expenses, being a nice landlord instead of a business owner, setting the wrong rent across all of your units, and having no tax strategy. Being a multifamily operator is not a passive activity. It is a business. But by steering clear of these pitfalls and by being proactive and professional, you can turn your multifamily building from a liability back into a profitable wealth building asset that it's meant to be. It's all about making smart, informed decisions that protect your portfolio for the long haul. And if you're serious about building wealth through multifamily real estate, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next video. Have you made any of these mistakes? Let me know in the comments section below, and let's all learn from each other and build this community together.